What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down what's really moving it this morning, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO did have a pretty kick-ass day yesterday. It went up 2.13%. Only green stock on my watch list. This morning, they're continuing that good momentum, up 1.94%. Pre-market, a lot of volume as well, so kind of shows that big money is definitely paying attention to it. But what is really moving it so far this morning is the weekly registration numbers. So it did have a low of 1,800, so that's the week ending, or the 14th week for 2025, and last week was 3,500, and then this week was 5,200. So huge turnaround for NIO. That is amazing stuff. NIO's management kind of did state that this was going to happen, even though a lot of which they've stated in the past hasn't really come to fruition yet, but this definitely did. So this was a huge turnaround for NIO. But aside from that, even looking at Onvo, it did hit 6,200, and then that's up from 4,200 the previous week. So very good stuff, I think, for NIO. So let me know your general thoughts on that. Yesterday, the good momentum did cause shorts to return 1.73 million shares. Side note, I do bring this up and I post this on Twitter every single evening after hours, so you can kind of see a lot of the stocks that I do cover, such as Lucid, SoFi, and so forth. So definitely pop over there, follow, and that way you can kind of see the most up to date. But so far this morning, shorts are increasing 1.03 million shares, which is rather odd, the fact that they are doubling down given the good momentum. But 14.27% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 226.89 million shares overall are being shorted. Only other thing that really came out that recently was this. So NIO's just calling out the states, and I think that's to be expected, even though I don't think NIO's really affected that much directly as much as what they are trying to portray. But indirectly, I think just China and the States both are essentially going to struggle due to the tariffs. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. Based on the options, there is a consensus for it to be roughly around that $4 range for this week, and then the bears for it to be sub 350. So a little bit more upside still is anticipated. A couple of key points to watch for though, with it at 367, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 356 is going to be a must hold level for today. And then flip side, 429 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. But aside from that though, on the actual chart itself, there's not really much crazy positives to bring up. So there's a very big gap that NIO can really move up to, and that's roughly around that $4.19 mark. That's the 50-day moving average. And then you also do have that 100 at 434. So somewhat tight together for that. So if NIO does come out hitting strong over the next couple trading days, then you could see a nice push higher. Same goes for the tariffs. If there's some resolution between China and the States, you'll see NIO really move up higher, because a lot of this downtrend from the recent highs is attributed to the just negative geopolitical issues that have been kind of arising. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. I think NIO's kind of doing a nice good V-shaped bounce. Just where it will land is anyone's guess. NIO obviously is always heavily manipulated in my opinion, so we'll just have to wait and see whether it actually does keep these and hold these gains once the market does open, or if we're going to see a certain level of puts really drag it down. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. If there is some big updates that does happen throughout the day, I'll do a PM video just to go over everything. And but aside from that, let me know your thoughts. If you are buying NIO, are you selling? What's your general viewpoint on all of that? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some kick-ass buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.